I have just a few cross pens. Most of them are ballpoint, and I have one rollerball which I really like from Cross. But the fountain pens really never caught my eye until this one that I'm going to show you right now. I just have a quick comparison of the size. So from the bottom we have the Mont Blanc, then we have the Namiki fountain pen, a large Saint DuPont, then we have the Cross Peerless. Another Cross pen, Year of the Dog, this one. Of course, the Aurora 88 and my go-to Waterman Expert. So you see how large it is compared to, I would say, the large class of fountain pens. This will rank like probably in the middle large fountain pen range. I would consider the Aurora 88 to be pretty large in itself, but this one is a little bit bigger, you can see, and much heavier. I'll do a weight comparison later, but let's see the details on this pen. So this is completely gold and metal barrel. It does have a very solid clip, and it has a jewel at the top. It's not red, it's actually looks quite darker than red. If you see the Year of the Pig, this is a ruby in there. Not a ruby, but Swarovski crystal. And it is much more intense compared to this Peerless one. Opening it is a twist cap. And we have the nib. Now this is, I'm just going to go through the design of this pen fairly quickly because it is, I think it's a very safe design, but very, I would say, one of the top designs, I would say, for a fountain pen. It's very classic, where you have a twist off cap and then you have a almost no step between the threads and then the grip section. Then you see the Peerless 125 nib. This is actually a sailor nib, I think. Japanese nib, which is the highlight of this pen, I believe. You see here in the back, huge ebonite feed. This thing soaks up ink. I did order this one in a fine point, which I think it's a little bit finer than I like. It actually writes as an extra fine for me, I believe, but over time you get used to it. Most of the Japanese nibs, they are one size smaller, so keep that in mind. I believe a medium could write as a fine for you if you choose. So the weight of this pen is actually, let's do a quick weight comparison first. It's not too heavy. At first I thought this was going to be a heavy pen because it's all metal, but you can see that. Another point I want to make is, if you look carefully, there's like a scale pattern throughout the barrel that makes this pen quite, I believe, warm to the touch instead of what you expect a metal pen will be, which is be cold and ultra smooth. But this this pattern that they made right here, it feels really good. Not cold to the touch and provides an extra grip, yeah, which I really like. So looking at the weight, it's 46.5 with the cap. I usually write with not posted, so by itself is 28.7 grams. You can post it, it's very solid. Another point I want to make is that Cross usually puts, if you can see it, plastic to protect the nib when you cap it back, which I really like. There's plastic inside here. And then just for a quick comparison, let's do the Mont Blanc. Yeah, it's slightly lighter, or if the cap is going to definitely be lighter. Compare that to 24. Oh, 28.7. So definitely a little heavier. The Aura 88 is going to be much lighter, I think. Yeah, that compared to 28. So you do get some hand fatigue if you write with this for a very long time, especially if you keep it posted. But for me, when I write, I don't post, so it's fairly comfortable when writing. Let's do a quick writing sample for you guys. The reason why I picked up this pen is just because of the nib. I do have the Year of the Pig, and I really didn't use this that much because of the nib. It's okay, but the writing characteristics of this nib is not as nearly as good as the Waterman nibs. I just have it inked up with the Waterman. Actually, I don't even have it inked up. I'm just gonna dip it. I'm gonna show you the refill mechanism. You can use cartridge converters like this, as well as cartridges. Just put it in and then twist to suck up the ink. I did ink this up, but after about I would say a week, it will dry up. So right now I'm just gonna dip it. It might not come out as blue since I had black ink in this already. But I just want to show you the writing characteristics before we sign off. So we have the, look how fine that point is. You hear the nib against the notebook. The writing experience is very, I would say, traditional of Japanese nibs. It's like writing with a samurai sword. Very precise, very refined feel to it. All your lines are going to be sharp and distinct. I mean, the characteristics of this is similar to a extra fine Waterman, I would say. And the wetness is very wet, not over the top. No real line variation, even though the tip is very springy, if you could see this. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. You could see the tip just, it's very responsive, I mean, and it captures all your movement very precisely. Again, this is very typical of like sailor nibs as well as Namiki nibs like this one. I'm going to show you this one. This one I haven't used for a while, but this is one of my top Japanese nibs, and the writing is very comparable to this one. I haven't used this actually in about a month, and the ink in it still writes, and you can see how similar the sound and even the response is. Very sharp, very, yeah, it just feels very typical of a Sailor or Namiki nib. So if you guys like Japanese nibs while having a different, I would say, style, this is a pen that you might consider. All that is just from dipping the ink. No skipping, no hard starts at all. And if you hear it, you could definitely get a feel of how responsive this and the feedback from this nib. Definitely a joy to write with. But if you're looking for a glass smooth nib, this is not going to be one of it. And if you're starting, if you're on a journey to find the smoothest nib, yeah, I think I covered that already in my previous video. You want a rhodium tip nib, usually in the 18 karat range, or you could even do the glass tip nibs that they have right now. I've seen some of them online. I haven't tried it, but I heard those are like silky smooth. But again, this is a great fountain pen with a superior nib, Japanese nib. I like the design of this. The feel is something that you wouldn't expect, since this is all metal and very hefty. The downsides of this pen, not much. I would say you can't really post it and use it expecting to be a daily writer for you. You're gonna get fatigued. Even if you don't have it posted, I would say the Expert is much better. If you're writing over, like, I don't know, 3 hours a day, I would just not touch this. This is maybe good for a quick session, I would say. But the writing characteristic is something that definitely is a plus on this. It is, comparing that with one of my favorite pens, the Aurora 88, I would say it's a little smoother than this, but the line is also, for a fine point, that's really fine for me, I think. But definitely they're on the same ballpark there, the writing quality, I would say. So let me bring them back in there. I'll do a review of my other pens. Some of the more unknown pens, like the DuPonts. These guys, I have a few of them, and these, yeah, I'll just get into it in my other reviews. But thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and also the bell icon to get notified of when new videos are up. Thank you.